Hey everybody, this is Dove,
Nicole.
and we're Twin Flame Revolution, and we're really excited to be with you guys today. We want to talk about a subject matter that we think is really, really important to us. And if you haven't watched one of our videos before and haven't joined us, we, through our relationship, through our connection, through our work, we have, and our studies and our experiences in life, we've come to a set of gifts that we are, using to sort of alchemize and change the energy in your life. And one of the main areas that we are focusing on and have had a lot of self-transformation with, and we're really helping others transform, is addiction. And addiction is an incredibly important subject right now, and it is affecting all areas of life for everyone. There's almost no one now at this point that we can say doesn't have a family member, a friend, or is struggling themselves with addiction. So it's an area that we've really dedicated ourselves, our work, our purpose and mission to. And today is actually a full moon, and it's a really intense full moon, and it has a lot to do with deprogramming. And one of the things that, immediately came to our thought is to talk about addiction, the deprogramming of addiction, the deprogramming of our thoughts, the deprogramming of societally what it is and it means. And so this is first of many, many videos that we're going to do, many programs, and that we're going to be doing on this, and continued work that we do, healing and clearing the root causes of these things. But we wanted to talk to you about our story, our experiences, and some of our thoughts, and to just be of service to you guys.
Yeah, wow. I'm smiling because it's like, to be on the other side of it, I can smile and be at peace. But I do honor when we're in it, when we have family members that we love that are struggling, and we just don't know how to do it. Like, we don't know how to do this. It's one of those things when a parent has a kid that is killing themselves. There's like really no answer. And I'm here to tell you that there are answers. So if you are an addict watching this, if you are a parent of a kid that is an addict, if you have issues around addiction, I don't care what it is,
right?
This is the video for you right now. This is my why. This is why I am here. This is why I went through everything that I went through. This is why I was addicted to every drug imaginable, including like crack and heroin, for over 20 years. And so I wanted to share a little bit of my story with you, because it's my story, and it's so important to have your story and your story heard, and for you to gain strength from your story, because your story does not define you, but your story can touch so many lives. We touch each other's hearts in the pain, in those struggles, more so than any other way. So your story right now, if you're like, I don't understand why I'm here, like I want to die, you are important. Your story is important. What you do next is very important. You are so worth it. You are worth it to be in this moment right now with us, and to listen and to receive and to hear something maybe that will just wake you up or shake you or make you feel loved or whatever I can offer you. Okay, so my story is one of, there's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of abuse. When I was young, there was a lot of things. My parents did their best, and they didn't have the tools in a lot of ways to be. And we have these families that sometimes just, have their stuff. We all have our stuff.
Right.
And we forget about that as when we look at addiction. We're like, you're sick. We tend to not really look at some core issues that cause us to want to use, right? There's this like, oh, you need that because I need to not feel, or I need to feel because I haven't felt anything. I was never touched my whole life. My mother didn't love me. My mother didn't hug me. I just want to feel something, and then you drink or you get high, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, you hear that saying, I have arrived. That is like, I've had people say I had a spiritual experience when I used. When I eat, I just zone out. I stop feeling, so I continuously eat. The first time I drank, I was at my brother's wedding. I drank when I was way younger than that. I don't fully remember, but I remember the time that I drank and the ease and comfort that came from it, where I was like, I felt okay. And then I did it again. And then I did it again. And then it became a habit. And then I believed that I was sick. And then it went on and on and on. And I used every drug to deal with everything. Like, I used heroin because I didn't care when I used heroin. When I couldn't feel anything, I used cocaine because cocaine made me feel a lot. When I wanted to feel like Conan and I needed to feel cool and I drank. I had an answer for everything. because I just couldn't deal with my life. I couldn't deal with all the trauma. I didn't understand why there was trauma that I had that I don't remember. And so I'm using and I don't even know why. And then I'm being told that I'm sick. So I go get help. I was 24 years old. I had OD'd a couple times. I had gotten into a car accident, a DUI car accident where I almost killed someone in the car with me. I almost lost my foot. And I felt at peace when I went there because I knew that I had committed to Nicole. Let me say that again. It wasn't because I got help or where I got help from. It was because I chose to choose Nicole. Because I knew I wanted something more than what I was doing. That I knew that there was something out there that I needed to find, which it was messed up because really all I needed to find was Nicole. And I had every block and restriction to doing that. And I had every block and restriction to finding God. Because when I find Nicole, I find God. And when I find God, I find Nicole. It's interchangeable. And I went on a 14-year seeking, and it sucked.
Yeah.
It was really hard. Because I was believing things like I have no control. And I was believing things that I was powerless. And I was believing that I was sick. And I was believing that I was broken. And I was believing that I didn't have what it took to do this. And then I began to spiral out because I had tried everything. I had gone to rehabs, I had gone to detoxes, I went to 12-step programs, I went to all of them. I went for eating disorders, I went for everything you could think of. I was even thinking of going to Sex Anonymous because I started having an issue around women. I used anything to not feel. And really, there was something going on inside of me. There was trauma, there was past life stuff. There was things I just wasn't even looking at. I didn't even know. I wasn't being taught that. I wasn't being told that. And so I began to spin out, and I kept overdosing. And I kept overdosing. 11 times I overdosed. I died for 10 minutes one day. My body turned black in front of my mother-in-law. My mouth closed. I was dead. And something inside of me wanted to live more than I wanted to die. And that actually is my story. I wanted to live more than I actually couldn't feel. And what happened was, I started to do some work. I started to seek out, and I found mentors that taught me something different. If nothing changes, nothing changes.
Right.
I changed what I was doing.
Right.
I started to move all this stuff. I started to heal the trauma. I started to move, and I started to becoming awake and aware of what the hell is going on. I started to do, I started to go back into my past lives through Akashic Records and started to see what was affecting me from back then that was affecting me now. And we started to shift it. We are so powerful when we are connected to Source. All the blocks to Source were completely removed, and I was being fed fully with everything that I needed necessary for the day to get through the day.
Yes.
And I got clean because of that. I didn't want it anymore. I got full spirit, didn't want anything else. I didn't want to use the drugs anymore because I got everything I needed.
Yes.
And now here we are. Here we are. And I'm with you right at this moment to tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you can. You have not tried everything. You have not tried everything. There's another way. There's something you're not seeing. That's okay. You get to see it now. There's some things that you're not feeling because you didn't have the tools to feel it. You can do it now. Actually, as I'm speaking to you right now, you're shifting. You're beginning to shift. Your eyes are opening. I can feel your energy. I can feel your energy. Your heart is like open. And you're just like, oh my God. Oh my God, I get that. I resonate with that. I feel that. My whole body has got the chills right now. You're feeling what I'm saying. Because we're connected. We're not separate. We're not different. You're not different just because you are addicted to heroin or alcohol. You're not different. You're the same as everyone out there. You believe that you are different. You are not different. I'm actually going to let her speak right now. I'm so fired up and I'm so happy that you're with me right now and that you're hearing this. I'm so, so honored to be in your presence.
I want to honor your story.
Thank you.
You know, we went through a lot, and we believe very strongly that we choose these experiences, right? You choose these experiences. We all choose these experiences because we can transform them. Because if it were not for our experiences, then we wouldn't have the ability to do the work that we do. We would not have the ability to transform the things that we transform. We would not have the ability to help you. We would not even have the story we have to share with you. Right? So sometimes when we feel that what we have is actually something that is a curse. So Nicole used to say to me, the universe just has forsaken me, cursed me, it doesn't care about me, my life is shit, my life is a joke. Right? It's not actually. Right? You're actually on a journey that is forcing you to go past comfort into discomfort, a journey that's forcing you to go to a place that actually is painful, that is unbearable, a place that puts you literally with your back against the wall and says, I can't deal with this anymore. I need an answer. I need a solution. And it's in that moment, in that place of desperation or need, right, that we're able to go in, and that we're able to grow, and that we're able to pick up the phone, and that we're able to do the work, and that we're able to look at ourselves. When we're comfortable, we don't do anything, right? So if someone says, I feel okay, what are they doing? You're not going to do anything. And happiness is great, and being okay is great, and being comfortable is great, but so is also being in pain, and so is being discomfort, having that discomfort. And Nicole was talking about her story, and her story is yours, and my story is yours, right? Because we all are connected. All we're doing is reflecting your story, and we dedicated ourselves to getting out of our stories, to healing our stuff, and to finding the best tools from all over the world and refining them through our connection and through our skills so that we can help other people, so that you don't have to spend 20 years figuring it out, right? And if you have already, you don't have to spend another 20 years figuring it out. So I want to talk about the family a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, one of the things that we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about is deprogramming. And Nicole talked about beliefs, things that we believe, right? Collective thought forms, collective ideas that are so big that at this point you're talking about things as big as the sky, energy bodies as big as the sky, right? The thought that you're powerless, the thought that you aren't going to make it, the thought that you are sick, that you are broken, right? There are so many people, there are so many thoughts going into, so much energy going into that thought. All you have to do is just hook into it, right? So you have to deprogram that out of you.
Can you explain the power of that? I really,
Yeah.
It actually is, it's energy. It's got power. As soon as you believe it, that whole energy just absorbs on you and you become it.
Yes.
So when someone says you are sick and you're like, yeah, I'm sick, you could become physically sick.
Yes.
You will stay sick. You will stay sick.
Yes.
What you believe becomes life. It becomes truth. You actually are the master of your reality.
Yes.
So if you are powerless and sick and you completely are absorbing that, and when I say when we talk about conscious collection, it has power.
Yes.
I want to honor you that this isn't exactly like the easiest of it's not exactly easy, but when you are aware of it and you can clear, because we immediately, Dove and I literally, as soon as I clear collective consciousness about that I am powerless and sick, I clear that, I bring it to the light, and I recycle it back into the earth.
Yes.
It's done. If you believe that, it's done. It's immediate.
If you understand it,
If you understand.
just bringing that to your consciousness.
It's
Right.
that simple. We're that powerful, but I just want to start to give you things and have you understand what you're dealing with. You're not just dealing with your beliefs. You're dealing with your family's beliefs about you. And Dove's going to talk about, go a little bit more. I just wanted to really say how powerful that is when it's a collective thought or belief. It really can, it has its own entity. It has its own energy body. It's almost like an entity.
Yes. Yes. No, I'm glad that you clarified that, actually. And yeah, the family, why is it important, right? Because if you have a loved one or a family member that is using, right, and is in a cycle of addiction, the way that you think about that person, the way that you speak to that person, the way that your beliefs are, the way that your programming is going to affect them, right? Maybe at this moment, they're not able to hear this message. Or maybe at this moment, they don't have the willingness or the ability to do something different or to do the work, right? But you can start. You can start to do the work, or you can at least start to change your programming, your consciousness, the way that you believe, the way that you speak. So if I stay in a state of perpetual sort of confirmation of these ideas, right? If I am like, you're sick, you need help, you're not okay, you're gonna die, you're not gonna be, and I am just perpetuating this. And then Nicole is in a state of vulnerability and just receiving this. We are just creating a pattern together to manifest and self-perpetuate all of these things that we're doing and talking about and thinking, right? So the self-talk for the person in the cycle of addiction is important, but so is the immediate family. So are those people that are connected with you. Your spouse is important. If you are the spouse, you are important. Your thinking is important, right? So I have gone through the full spectrum with Nicole and her experiences. We have been on this road together for about 10 years. We've known each other longer. I have seen from one end of the spectrum of the other. And from the very beginning of the process, I always struggled with this concept, which is a very collective belief of, oh, I'm powerless, right? When the first time Nicole said to me, well, I'm powerless, so, and it just, I was like, well, I don't know much about all of this, so maybe I should just kind of, listen to her. She knows better than me. She's been struggling with addiction longer. But it hit me wrong. I am powerless. How does that belief help us, family, or the person struggling with the cycle? How does it help to believe we are powerless, right? It's also just a false statement. We have nothing that we are powerless over.
It is a thought form that we create.
Yeah.
Right? So we create, and so we act in a way where all of a sudden we're like, wow, I really lost it. But see, when I used because there was not 1 ounce of me that believed that I could actually feel and stay alive.
Right.
That was like one of those things where I was like, there was so much trauma in my body and my being that I was like, the only way I can survive, because people were like, why would you do that? It's killing you. What do you mean you're surviving? Yeah, yes. I did that to survive.
Yes, it's a survival tool.
Exactly, because I thought it would be worse to feel than to be on the drugs. Until I realized that I could feel, and then did some work to where I could be.
Right.
That's where we want to. That's where we all want to be. Just being, sitting there, just looking down and seeing your feet and just being able to be in your body, be able to take, the day I could take a deep breath, like a deep, like, holy God, I couldn't breathe. I was breathing like, all the time. I couldn't breathe. And as soon as I got high, I could breathe a little bit. And so, bringing it back to the family.
Well, you said something really important, and I don't want to interrupt you, but, Nicole talked about, the tools that she was using the substances as tools, right? So we have to go to the root. We have to talk about the root. When we're doing the work, we do the root. The addiction is the symptom. The addiction is the tool box that you create in order to survive, right? The upper to deal with this, the downer to deal with that, the this to do this, right? Everything has a category. And as a family member, as a loved one, when you can see this, and even as the addict, when you can understand this, see, yes, when people are in addiction, they do things. They hurt us. They make us mad. They do all these things that offend our ego, and they hurt us, and we make it personal, right? Everything's got to be about us. It's got to be personal. It's not personal to begin with, right? This is deep traumas, deep issues with self, deep inability to kind of exist in this world for many, many reasons. And so there are a set of tools that are essentially used and adopted. So if the root causes are not addressed and healed, and if a new toolkit is not provided, the behavior is hard to change, right? It's slow to change. It becomes sort of like Nicole used to make a joke that I always really thought was funny. kind of like whack-a-mole, right? It's like you take one thing away, you take the drugs away, the food's a problem. You take the food away, sex is a problem. You take sex away, gambling is a problem, right? Because again, what are you doing? You're trying to look at it symptomatically.
Yes.
Rather than the core issues.
Yep.
Right? And so, again, I mean, my whole part of the story is not so important except for as to cover some of the things that we just talked about, right?
Yep.
What we think about, how we think about them. The fact that it is not all about you and your ego and your sense of, experience. And the fact that you're very powerful, actually, to do the healing. As a family member, as a loved one, as a spouse, we can heal this together. It is a collective thing. If your child has an addiction problem, you also need to heal. And you also need to let go of the paradigms and the ideas that are kind of restraining. And I know that some of what we're talking about, for some people is really challenging. Yeah. It goes against a great deal of sort of structures and beliefs and ideologies. But this, at the same time, when you hear the truth, you're always able to understand and resonate with it to an extent, right? And so, getting rid of those limitations out of your mind is a really deep part of this.
Yeah, and I've had many people look at me and be like, but you don't know what I did. You don't know what I did out there. Oh, no. I know what you did because I did it, and I did it a lot. It's like, you're like, I can't get rid of the guilt and shame because I robbed my parents. Like, I took stuff out of the house that was very important to my wife. I was on the street. I got assaulted on the street, which gave me more trauma, which more stuff I had to deal with. Like, lived on the street a little bit. Like, there is nothing that you can tell me that you don't deserve to forgive yourself.
Right.
Because that place doesn't allow for you to be free and move and to get out of where you are. So if you're in guilt and shame right now, you deserve to find a way to shift out of that. And I want to tell you actually a little secret, another secret about my story. So, how did I get off of heroin? Towards the end, I told my wife that I wasn't ready to stop using, but I was honest about the use, which is something I never did. I was always hiding, running, leaving. And one day I decided to come to her and be like, I want to get off at some point, but I'm not ready. And she accepted that. Now, I want to bring out the point that there was no judgment. She loved me the way I was because she saw Nicole. She wasn't looking at the drugs. She wasn't looking at anything. She basically said to me, listen, we have our bills to pay. So as long as you don't spend all the money and you kind of chill out, okay. And then I got bored. Why did I get bored? Because not just using drugs is an escape, but there's a lot of fun stuff to getting drugs and the ritualistic parts of it and the hiding. There's a lot that we get from that we're not looking at, right? We feel a little badass. We're getting high from the whole experience, the lying, the every part of it. So now we remove that aspect. I'm being honored for being Nicole. I'm honoring Nicole right now. I don't have much guilt because she's okay with it. My parents knew. And then one day I said, I'm going to wean myself off of heroin. And my wife kind of giggled. And she goes, okay, we'll try that. And Nicole weaned herself off of heroin. So when we talk about control, on heroin, gaining the power necessary to commit with the tools to commit to getting off of heroin. I did it with vitamins. I was still using I had medication. It took me a month of suffering. It was not easy. I did not sleep. I was in agony. The anxiety was ripping. But I did it. And I haven't been hooked on heroin since. Because I committed to myself. There was no judgment. I was using the tools to connect to God and starting to see the power that Nicole has. That I am all those things. No matter, I stopped identifying as a sick person. I stopped identifying as a drug addict. I stopped identifying as that. I put my identification in the truth. One more time. I put my identification in the truth. The truth that I am nothing but love. That I am nothing but all that was created by the prime creator, by that person, that God, my source, my higher self. And then I just got to experience that. I got to experience that. I gave myself space to experience that, and I grow every day. And I feel so many great things every day. And I go through heavy stuff that's not easy, but I go through it and I get through it. And you can do, if Nicole Peretti can do it, if I can do it, you can do it. And Dove and I went through this so that you do not have to go that deep in. You don't have to. You don't have to do what I did. You don't have to do that. I have lost more than like a handful of people to overdoses that I want to honor right now, because like I saw what their parents went through. I get that on that level. I saw what my parents went through. This is not easy. But if we can come together and shift the consciousness around this, if we can pull together and know that your story and you getting up right now can make a difference just in you getting up, we will, and we are changing the collective consciousness and that energy. We were talking about collective consciousness, the energy, that it's like this huge, she said it was bigger than the sky. It's bigger than the universe. Can you imagine how many kids that are messed up right now are going to heal? How quick they're going to heal? How quick they're going to wake up? That's everything. That's my why. That's why I'm here. That's why she's here. That's why we are here.
And you don't have to do it alone. You know? You don't have to do it alone. When Nicole weaned herself off, and to be clear, you know, we had a lot of tools at that point. Right? She had a lot of tools at that point.
I do want to say that weaning off of heroin is not like you can't die of a heroin detox. So if you are on like alcohol or barbiturate benzos, you cannot detox yourself. So when I said that, I just want to throw that out there that like you can't. I wouldn't advise that for everyone.
Right,
like
that's
detox.
what I was.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just
We definitely are not advising that.
No, I'm not advising that.
You guys do this stuff on your own, and that's why I said we had support, we had everything we needed, and that she was healthy in a safe place. So we want to be really clear with you guys, because the point is for you to be okay and alive, right? So detoxes have their purpose. If you need one, go to one. Be safe. The point is the control you have, right? Go get yourself off the substance. Go do it in a safe and comfortable environment. And when you come home, you can, start before even. You can have the tools. You can have what you need. You can have what you need. And we really want to be clear about that. But yes, this is the start. This is the start of the change of a lot of consciousness. And you can do it. Just right now, just starting right now. And we're really dedicated to this. And we're really committed to our clients. We're committed to those that, we have not had the chance to be with yet. We are committed to getting this message out there. We are committed to our work. This is just an introduction to some of these things that we, really want to share with you guys. You'll hear our stories more. You'll hear different aspects of our stories. Reach out to us if you want. Actually, we wanted to extend something that we are going to do as long as we can accommodate it. If you want to talk to Nicole and I, and you want 20 minutes of time to explain what your circumstances are, what your situation is, you can email us and just email us with your information, and we will schedule a time with you for free to just listen to you for 20 minutes and what your circumstances are and what's going on for you. So you can reach out to us. And as long as our schedule can accommodate this, we're going to offer this to you guys. So email us at info@twinflamerevolution.com and say like, hey guys, I want to talk, right? And we will schedule a time to talk with
please.
you.
Or if
Because
this excites you and you know, it's something that you're interested in, anything you want to talk to us about, we are extending that phone call for you.
Yeah.
We'd
So,
love to connect with you.
I mean, that's why we're here. So we really love you guys. We send you all of our light and our love, and we will connect really soon.